Help! My Lily's dying. That's what a little girl shouted over the phone. She hadn't called 911. She'd accidentally dialed the wrong number. But instead of a dial tone or a stranger hanging up, the person who picked up was a billionaire. And he showed up. Lucas Grayson was halfway through a quiet dinner when his phone rang. He was alone at the end of a long, sleek glass table, cutting into a perfectly seared filet mignon. Vivaldi played softly in the background. The lights glowed with a warm, ambient hue. It was the kind of dinner designed for peace, but Lucas was anything but peaceful inside. He glanced at the unknown number. For a second, he considered ignoring it. Then he heard the voice. Please help, my Lily's not breathing. Mummy's crying too. Lucas froze. A child. A little girl. She couldn't have been older than 4 or 5. Her voice was panicked, high-pitched, desperate. Sweetheart, are you okay? He asked, already rising from his chair. Myla is really sick, she whimpered. Please come. Lucas's heart raced. This wasn't a prank. This was real fear. The wine glass tipped and crashed to the floor as he shot up. Red liquid spread across the marble like blood in a story he didn't want to read twice. Can you tell me where you are? He asked, keys already in hand. She gave an address. Repeated it. Twice. I'm coming, Lucas said, no hesitation. Years ago, his little sister Emily had died during a medical emergency while he was away. He never forgave himself for not being there. That moment had left a space in him nothing could fill it. Music, not money. Tonight, that space filled with urgency. He raced out, headlights slicing through the night. As he sped down the freeway, he called in a backup medical team from his private emergency network. 15 minutes later, he was pulling into a quiet suburban cul-de-sac, street lights flickering, porch lights glowing. He barely had time to knock before the door opened. A woman stood there, around 30, wearing a soft blue sweatshirt. Her blonde hair was messy, her eyes wide with both surprise and caution. Can I help you? She asked. Then a little girl in unicorn pajamas ran between her legs, clutching a raggedy doll. She's better now, mister, she said proudly. I gave her a blanket and she feel better. Lucas blinked. The woman's hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God. Did she call you? She asked, mortified. I'm so sorry. She must have hit a recent call or something. She plays with my phone sometimes. Lucas exhaled slowly. The doll Lily was clearly the patient. He looked down at the little girl. You must be Luna. She nodded solemnly. And this, he said, kneeling, is the bravest patient I've ever seen. Luna grinned. Her mom stood there looking like she was still trying to catch up with reality. I don't know how to even apologize, she said. No need, Lucas replied. You didn't waste my time. Something in his voice made her pause. He wasn't just being polite. Emma noticed the sharp suit, the polished shoes, but also the kind eyes. She didn't recognize him as a billionaire, just a man who showed up because her daughter called. Inside their modest living room, the vibe was warm. There were books on the coffee table, a framed photo of a man on the mantel, her late husband, maybe. May I? Lucas asked. Emma stepped aside. Inside, Luna gave him a tour of Lily's hospital bed, made from towels. Lucas played along completely, asking serious questions about Lily's symptoms and even offering a bandage from his wallet. Luna accepted it like it was real. Before leaving, Lucas crouched down again. If Lily ever feels sick again, he said, you can call. Maybe tell mommy first, okay? Luna giggled. You're nice. I like you. Emma's heart tugged in a way it hadn't in years. Lucas turned to her. I'll leave my number, just in case. And for the first time in a long while, Lucas Grayson smiled on his way back to the car. Emma stood at the doorway longer than necessary, still stunned. That month this total stranger had just spent time on her living room floor, playing doctor with her daughter's doll. He'd sat cross-legged on the rug she hadn't vacuumed that morning, the one with apple juice stains. From the kitchen, Emma watched as Luna explained how Lily had been through serious surgery and needed an X-ray. She pointed to a stack of books and declared them the machine. Lucas nodded like a real doctor getting a report from his nurse. Emma's instincts were on high alert. She didn't usually let people in, especially strangers. But Lucas, he felt different. "She's got quite the imagination," he said when he noticed Emma watching. "She doesn't usually call strangers," Emma replied, still trying to figure out how she even reached you. "I'm glad she did," Lucas said. Emma walked over but didn't sit. "So do you work in emergency services?" He shook his head. "No. I just picked up the phone." She frowned slightly. "Why'd you come?" He paused. "Because a child was scared." That was enough. His tone hit something in her. Then Luna climbed into his lap with Lily. "She needs a checkup," she declared. Lucas went along instantly. "Of course. Let me see." He listened, followed her lead, and asked about Lily's heart rate like it was all perfectly real. Emma noticed something strange. He wasn't just pretending. He was fully present. Like this mattered to him. And maybe it did. Lucas glanced at the wall. A photo of a younger Emma with her husband smiling, glowing. His smile faded. "You knew him?" Emma asked. Lucas nodded. "Liam Marks. He worked for Grayson Technologies. Software engineer, right?" Emma froze. "You worked there too?" Lucas gave a quiet smile. "I founded it." Her breath caught. "You're that Lucas?" "Guilty," he said. Emma flushed. She'd judged him, misread him. Lucas turned back to Luna. "Your daddy was very smart," he told her. Luna nodded. "Mummy says he's watching us from the moon." Lucas blinked hard. "I think he'd be proud of both of you." The room went quiet. Emma swallowed. "I'm sorry," she said. "All this a billionaire showing up for a sick doll." Lucas shook his head. "No. It doesn't seem absurd." He stood slowly. "Thank you for letting me stay." Emma walked him to the door. "Thank you for seeing her." Lucas looked at her gently. "I saw both of you." And when he left, Emma stood in that doorway for a long time, a strange warmth lingering in her chest. Lucas drove away with a pink plastic teacup still in his hand, and for the first time in forever, he didn't feel quite so alone. 2 days later, Lucas was coming out of a board meeting, scrolling through emails, when his personal phone buzzed. He almost ignored it until he saw the name. Luna Marks. Calling from her mum's phone. He answered instantly. "Hello." "Hi, Mr. Lucas." Luna's voice was small but serious. "Lily's better now. She's having a tea party today. You can come if you want. Mummy says you're busy, but Lily said you're invited." Lucas blinked, caught completely off guard. "A tea party?" "Yes," Luna said proudly. "For her recovery. There's cupcakes and carrots for the bunnies." Lucas laughed under his breath. "Well, if Lily invited me, how could I say no?" That afternoon, Emma opened the front door. She wore a familiar soft blue sweater and the same wary look she always gave him when he showed up. "You really didn't have to come," she said quickly. "I was invited," Lucas smiled, "by a very important doll." Emma sighed and stepped aside. "She's been planning it all morning." The living room was unrecognizable. A tiny pink tablecloth was draped across the coffee table. Mismatched plastic teacups were arranged carefully. And Lily, the doll, sat upright on a cushioned throne, wearing a crooked paper crown. Luna had even made a sign. "Lily's tea party by bring your own cupcake." Lucas knelt down. "I didn't bring a cupcake, will tea do?" Luna handed him a plastic cup filled with apple juice. "It's fine. Lily's on a liquid diet." He grinned. "Of course." They sat together, Lucas cross-legged on the floor between Luna and Lily. Emma sat on the couch, arms folded loosely, watching, but pretending not to smile. Then Luna started a song. "Get well soon, Lily, she sang off-key. Lucas joined in without hesitation, equally off-key. Emma laughed for the first time in what felt like forever. For the next 30 minutes, Lucas poured pretend tea, checked Lily's vitals, and helped tape a band-aid over her fabric wrist. They clinked cups, clapped, and declared Lily officially better. Then, Lucas pulled out a sleek black box. "I brought something," he said. Luna gasped as he opened it. Inside was a tiny toy hospital. There was a doll-sized ambulance, a miniature doctor's office, and a nursery with beds. "It's for Lily," Lucas said. "So next time she gets sick, she have a place to go." Luna didn't say a word. She just launched forward and threw her arms around his neck. "Now Lily will never be sick alone again," she whispered. Lucas hugged her back, something tight catching in his throat. For that one moment, the boardroom, the penthouse, the pressure reel disappeared. There was just this little girl and the feeling of finally belonging somewhere. Emma watched from across the room, frozen. The image of her daughter, in the arms of a man who felt more at home on a tea party floor than in a boardroom, seared into her heart. She hadn't seen Luna this happy in a long, long time. And deep down, she couldn't remember the last time she herself had felt this safe. Lucas looked up and met her eyes. "You two are something special," he said softly. Emma tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "She's all I've got." Lucas nodded. "And somehow, she's giving everything." He stood, but as he turned to leave, Luna tugged his sleeve. "Can you come again tomorrow?" Lucas smiled. "We'll see. I don't want to wear out my welcome." Emma walked him to the door. This time, she didn't rush. "Thank you," she said quietly. "Not just for the toy. For seeing her." Lucas's voice was gentle. "I see both of you." The door clicked shut behind him. But the warmth he left behind lingered. That night, as Luna lay asleep upstairs, the house was still. Emma was in the kitchen rinsing out teacups when she noticed something. Lucas was still in the living room, quietly rotating the toy hospital in his hands. She hesitated, then brought him a cup of chamomile tea. He looked up, surprised, and accepted it with a soft, "Thanks. I don't usually let people stay this long," Emma said, settling in across from him. "Then I'm honored," Lucas said with a crooked smile. They sat in silence, and it awkward, just careful, like two people trying to remember how to breathe in the same space. Emma stared into her tea. "I still remember the phone call that night," she said softly. Lucas turned toward her. 3 years ago. Around 6:40 p.m. I was feeding Luna mashed peas. I thought it was Liam saying he'd be late." Her voice cracked. "But it was the hospital. There was a crash." She looked away. "They didn't say much, just that they needed to come immediately. By the time I got there, he was already." She stopped. Lucas didn't interrupt. Luna kept asking, "Where's Daddy?" I told her he was in the stars, that he had to help light up the night. Emma's eyes shimmered. She didn't understand, but she stopped asking. Still that night, she didn't sleep. She sat by the window with her bunnies, waiting for the stars. Lucas's jaw clenched. He looked down at his hands. "My sister died in an Emma blinked. She was 22, had a sudden fever and shortness of breath. They didn't take her in fast enough because she didn't have insurance. By the time someone checked, it was too late." Emma whispered, "Oh my God." Lucas nodded slowly. "I was in a board meeting, halfway across the world. I didn't even know she was sick." He paused. "When I got the call, it broke something in me." Emma instinctively reached out but stopped short. Lucas noticed. "That's why I left my old company. Why I started 24 Hearts." Her eyes widened. "That's you. The Foundation for Kids Urgent Care." He nodded. "Started as a reaction to grief, but now it keeps me going." Silence returned, heavy with shared memories and quiet pain. Emma stood and walked to a drawer. When she returned, she held a folded blue flannel cloth. "When Luna was born," she said, "Liam had this in his jacket. He used it to clean her face the first time she sneezed. She held it out. I found it in his coat pocket after he died. Lucas took it gently, almost reverently. You kept it all this time? Emma nodded. Sometimes when Luna's sick, I let her hold it. It still smells a little like him. Lucas pressed it to his face, then folded it and placed it in his lap. Thank you, he said quietly, for sharing him. For sharing this. Emma smiled, tired, but honest. You shared your sister. It only felt fair. That night, when Lucas finally left, the cloth was tucked carefully into his coat pocket. And as Emma watched him disappear into the night, she realized something terrifying and beautiful at the same time. She wasn't afraid of remembering anymore. It started with a single photograph, a grainy image, probably snapped from across the park, showing Lucas kneeling on a blanket, holding Lily the doll, with Luna beside him beaming. Emma sat behind them, laughing in a moment so pure it didn't need context. But the internet gave it one anyway. The headline read, "Billionaire Lucas Grayson spotted with single mum love in the suburbs." Within hours, it was everywhere. Social media, gossip sites, even morning talk shows. Some even dug up old articles about Liam's accident, spinning a narrative that Emma was a grieving widow trapping a billionaire. Emma found out through a co-worker who slid their phone across the counter, eyes apologetic. That evening, the messages began. Typical gold digger. Planned it all along. Don't trap him with your sob story. Emma's stomach churned. She shut off her phone, tossed it on the couch, and sat down at the kitchen table, staring blankly. The next day at preschool drop-off, one of the Montspurs, perfect lipstick, and a fake smile leaned close. So are we calling random men daddy now? Emma blinked. Excuse me. I'm just saying, the woman replied sweetly. Kids get attached. It would be irresponsible. Emma didn't respond. She couldn't. She went home, sat on the floor of the shower, and cried until the water ran cold. That night, she made a decision. She wouldn't answer Lucas's texts. She'd cancel the next playdate. She would go back to the quiet, the safe, the small. She couldn't afford another loss. But the next afternoon, there was a knock at the door. Lucas stood there, hands in his coat pockets, his expression soft. I saw the article, he said gently. Emma stood in the doorway, arms folded. I saw the comments, too, he added. She looked away. I get it. You don't need this. I didn't mean to drag you into. I'm not here to fix the press, he interrupted softly. Or the people who think they know either of us. Emma's voice trembled. You should go. Lucas didn't move. Emma, don't run because of them. Run only if I make you feel unsafe. His voice was quiet but firm. Do I? She looked up, blinking fast. Her voice broke when she answered. No. He stepped closer. Still careful, never rushing. I'm not going to push, he said. But I need you to know something. He paused, breathing steady. They don't see what I see. They didn't hear Luna's laugh when you read her stories in silly voices. They didn't see her hold your hand after Liam died. They don't know how much you've given up just to make her world feel whole. Emma's tears returned. Not from shame this time, but from release. Lucas continued, I'm not afraid of the headlines. I'm only afraid of not seeing you again. Something inside her finally cracked, then opened. She stepped forward, resting her forehead against his chest. He didn't move at first. Then slowly, gently, he wrapped his arms around her. She trembled, the weight of years pouring out of her in full sobs. Lucas held her, not trying to stop the tears, just holding space for them, for her. As the light faded, they stood in the doorway, and for the first time in 3 years, Emma let herself lean. The next day at 2:47 p.m., Emma was behind the counter at the bookstore when her phone buzzed. Luna's preschool. Her heart jumped. Hello, Miss Bennett, her calm voice said. Luna had a little accident at recess. She tripped and hit her head on the slide. It's just a scrape. But she cried quite a bit. She's stable. Emma's world tilted. We tried your emergency contact, Mr. Grayson answered. He's with her now. Emma dropped everything. She didn't remember locking the shop. She just remembered running. At the school, she found Luna curled in Lucas's arms in the waiting area. A band-aid on her forehead. Lily tucked in beside her. Emma froze in the doorway. It was déjà vu. Not the same room but the same fear. The same feeling of helplessness she'd felt when Liam died. Lucas looked up. She's okay, he said softly. Just scared. When Luna saw Emma, she burst into tears. Mummy. Emma rushed forward, scooped her into a hug. It's okay, baby. I'm here. She held her tight, but her eyes kept going back to Lucas. He had been there. Again. Steady. Kind. And that scared her more than anything. That night, after Luna was in bed, Emma sat on the front steps, arms around her knees, lost in thought. She was so tired of living like love was a danger she couldn't afford. The porch creaked. Lucas appeared, holding 2 cups of tea. He handed her one and sat beside her without a word. They sat in silence. Crickets chirped. A dog barked down the block. Then Lucas spoke. You know I was scared too. Emma glanced over. When I got that call from Luna, I remembered the night I lost my sister. It was raining. They put us on hold. I couldn't get there. I couldn't help. His jaw clenched. But this time I could. I held her. I helped. And for once, something I did mattered. Emma blinked fast. I didn't know she listed you as emergency contact. She did, Lucas said with a smile. Told her teacher, call Mr. Lucas. He knows how to fix sad. Emma laughed, wiping her eyes. Then Lucas set his cup down. I know you're scared. I can't pretend to understand everything you've been through. But Emma, you can close every door, lock every window. He looked at her. I'll still wait on the porch until you decide I'm worth opening one. Emma stared at him. And then, in a small voice, said, I want you there. I'm just scared. Lucas didn't pull her closer. He simply placed his hand gently over hers. Then I'll stay right here, he said. As long as you need. They sat in the quiet, and for the first time, it didn't feel lonely. It felt like healing. The next morning, Emma found a small envelope in her handbag, sealed with a rainbow sticker. To Mr. Lucas. From Luna and Lily. Inside was a crayon drawing 2 stick figures holding hands, a little girl and doll between them, and a smiling sun overhead. In purple crayon, you can be Lily's daddy too. Lucas didn't say a word. He folded it gently and placed it inside his coat pocket. It would stay there. Always. That Saturday, he picked them up and drove to a hill behind Luna's preschool. They laid out a checkered blanket. Luna twirled. Emma smiled. Something in the air felt final and new all at once. After lunch, Lucas handed Luna a small box. It's for Lily, he said. Inside was the doll. Repaired. Her arms stitched back with delicate flower print fabric. A pink scarf wrapped around her neck. She's all better, Luna squealed, hugging her. Then he gave Emma a second gift. A slim, hand-bound notebook. Pale blue. Embossed gold letters. Our new chapters. She opened it. The first page read, This story has no ending. Only beginnings. And I want to write the next part with you. With Luna. With Lily too. Emma's eyes filled. Lucas smiled. This isn't a proposal. Not yet. But it's a promise. I'm choosing you. Every day you'll let me. He glanced down. And I make great pancakes. Emma laughed, took his hand, and squeezed. We are, she said. Lucas blinked. You are? We're ready, she nodded. And I don't want a chapter. I want a whole book. Luna jumped into their laps. Can Lily draw in the book too? Emma kissed her cheek. We'll fill it together. Lucas wrapped his arms around them both, and for the first time in years, none of them felt like anything was missing. Not anymore. In a little bookstore on Maple Street, the smell of fresh paper and lemons filled the air. Emma arranged books behind the counter. Her shop. Her dream. A dream Lucas helped make real. It was Luna's 5th birthday. Kids ran around in paper crowns. Balloons bobbed. On the cake. Chapter 5: Luna's Big Day. Lucas knelt beside her with a gift. She opened it. A red toy phone with glitter buttons. And a card. Emma leaned over. Thanks for calling me that day, little star. You didn't just save Lily. You found us all. Luna clutched the phone. Can I call you again? Lucas smiled. Anytime. Even if it's just a tiny cough. Nearby, a little boy asked, Is he your real daddy? Everything paused. Lucas placed a hand over his chest. Maybe not by blood, he said, but by every heartbeat. Emma reached for his hand. Luna beamed. He's ours. And just like that, laughter filled the room again. Outside, the sky turned gold. The three of them stepped onto the sidewalk. Luna skipped ahead, swinging Lily by the arm. Emma and Lucas walked behind her quiet steps, full hearts. And as the camera slowly lifted above the rooftops, a soft voice echoed. The number was wrong, but the call found all the right hearts.